Today we're talking about how to use marketing automation. Hey, it's Paul Tobey here. Thanks for joining me. I totally know that marketing automation is something that is very powerful for businesses. We use it all the time in our marketing agency. And I want to make sure that you understand the value of it. So we're going to talk about three things today. First, I'm going to give you a good definition of marketing automation. Then I'm going to talk about the three main use cases for marketing automation. And then I'm going to give you some examples. And we are going to get started right after this. All right, we're talking about marketing automation today and how to use it. So let's dive right in and let's start off with the definition. Marketing automation is using software to automate repetitive communication tasks. These are tasks that you as a small business absolutely do not have time to take care of. So for example, when somebody requests some information through your website, marketing automation picks up that conversation and replies, gets them to download some information, perhaps fill out another form, maybe do a questionnaire, or whatever you need to do as a business in order to communicate with that person and many people at the same time. This is what you need to do to be successful with marketing automation. So there are essentially three main uses for marketing automation. The first one is obviously marketing. This is anything pre-sales. So for example, like I mentioned, when somebody visits your website through social media or Google search or however they find their way there, you can put web forms, you can use quizzes, you can do surveys. There's a lot of things that you can do to interact with that person. And once they give you their contact data through the website, then marketing automation and your CRM software starts to follow up with them automatically. So marketing is obviously one of the most important things because, of course, you can't talk to everyone. You really need a system that's going to respond and follow up with people that you just simply don't have time to do. The second one is sales, and I think people miss this opportunity. So let's say you have contact data from somebody and they haven't purchased anything yet. The sales process could be several things. It could be the contacting stage, in other words, getting them into an appointment, or whether that's by phone or Zoom. You could have the quoting stage, which you're sending the quote through your software to the individuals. And then you're following up with them to see if they received it, if they want it, and whether you get a yes or a no, whether you win the deal or you don't. That's where marketing automation can help in the sales process. Because of course, you really don't want people falling through the cracks. This whole concept of automation is about follow-up, and more follow-up. The more you follow up with people, the less opportunity they have to sort of lose interest or fall through the cracks. And then the third one, which I think is often the most overlooked aspect of marketing automation, is what we do with fulfillment. Let's say they've purchased something, and that means whether it's a service or a product, what you need to do now is you need to follow up with that person and do some onboarding. Train them on how your systems and processes work. Maybe get them to watch some how-to videos. Perhaps over a period of time, send them some communications that sort of say, are you liking it? Do you want to recommend it to somebody else? As far as fulfillment is concerned, one of the big fulfillment sequences that we use is called NPS, or Net Promoter Score. It essentially sends over a period of time a couple of emails to people who have enjoyed your services, or maybe even perhaps everyone. And then it gets them to take a little survey. For example, are you using this in your business now? Rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. How did you feel your experience with our company was on a scale of 1 to 10? And then the final question is, how likely are you to recommend this product or service to someone else, to a friend, family member, or colleague? Obviously, what we want to do is anybody who scores 9 or 10, we consider those people promoters. And we'll follow up automatically if they score 9 or 10, and we'll send them a request to perhaps give a testimonial or write a review on Google Places, or whatever processes you use, wherever you or however you collect testimonials. That's how we're going to do it. And then if they score 7 or 8, we say, hey, thanks. We'll send them an email for thanking them to take the survey. We don't ask them for anything. We just say thanks. But if they score 6 or less, this is an opportunity for you to recognize you probably have a fulfillment problem in your business. And it's an opportunity to follow up with them personally and find out what went wrong and how you could possibly fix it for them and for the next customers. So those are the 3 main areas of marketing automation that we use for most of our clients: marketing, sales, and fulfillment. So now let's take a look at a few specific examples of marketing automation. And so the first one that I've put here is called the quiz. This one works really well for one of my customers. It's essentially a 30 or 40 question concussion test. In fact, if you went to Google and you looked up online concussion test or free concussion test, we ranked very well for that term. The company's called Brain Therapy Clinic. And when people answer that questionnaire or that quiz, then at the end, in order to get the results, we request a simple email address. Why do we want the email? Because of course we want marketing automation to start following up with them. And what we do is, if they have no concussion, we say, hey, thanks for taking this. You seem to be fine. You might want to check with your doctor just to make sure. But if they have moderate to severe concussion, we're following up with them saying, hey, click here to book a 15-minute consultation. So if you look clearly at the marketing automation funnel that I've given you an example of here, the quiz comes first. It creates a subscriber right inside our WordPress website. And then it starts sending them emails to book a 15-minute consult. If they don't book a 15-minute consult through the first email, a day later, they'll receive another email. And then 2 days later, they'll receive another email. And then if they don't qualify, for example, they don't have a moderate to severe concussion, then we'll send them a thank you for taking the survey, and maybe here's some more information about concussion. But essentially, we won't start bugging people who didn't pass the questionnaire or pass the quiz some information on booking appointments, because we don't really need to. So you can see how in this particular case, marketing automation is pretty powerful. Once they book the 15-minute consult, of course, then they become a patient and we move them into the fulfillment funnel. So somewhere between booking the 15 and becoming a patient, there might be some sales back and forth. There might be quotes, information about how much our services are. All right, let's take a look at another one. So this is an interesting one. This is a fulfillment sequence for one of the companies that I work for. They are a dermatology clinic. And essentially, during COVID, there's a patient intake form. So they go to the website based on a QR code that they receive or a URL, and they fill out a form on their phone. Once they fill out the form, based on the questions to the form, which there are a number of them, if they pass it, then we send them an admin notification to the office saying, hey, these people passed, please let them in. But also we'll send a response to their phone and we'll notify them that they passed as well, so they can show it to the people at the front desk. If they fail, in other words, any of the questions are incorrect or they don't pass the questionnaire and they fail, we notify them via phone, say, hey, please don't enter the office. Here's a phone number, contact us, and we will schedule another appointment. And then finally, here's another example. This is a simple contact form. We call this the lead to consult campaign. And what we do is on our contact page or any page that has information, the prospect fills out the form, and we send them with a link to watch a webinar. That webinar is either pre-recorded or it may be just a video. And then they watch the webinar, and based on the information that they learn in that webinar or in that video, they request a consult. And if they don't request a consult, we put them in short-term and long-term nurture in order to request a consult if they didn't do it the first time out. So that's essentially a lead to consult campaign. Now, the information that you send them to, be it a webinar, a white paper, or anything else on your website, it's very important for that person to read that information, see that information, because that's how you gain their trust. That's how you gain, that's how they get value. And when they get value, you're earning trust. And so they'll go ahead and move into that next step, which is requesting a consult, and then you're moving them into the sales campaign. All right, so that's my take on marketing automation and how to use it correctly. I want to thank you for your time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Obviously, we want you to subscribe to the channel because we're making videos like this one all the time. And if you have any questions or comments about this information or anything else on our channel, please write it below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.